Welcome everyone, this is P and welcome to a very exciting episode of MW2 Noclip videos, where today we will explore the depths of the level Cliffhanger, which is one of my favorite levels of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and we're gonna have some very interesting time discovering what we can see from a perspective that we can't normally see. With using Noclip, of course, the Noclip cheat, which I will explain how to use in the description. Okay, so this is the beginning. Like we see, this is a very odd opening that we can see that stands out from the rest of the huge cliff that we have supposedly climbed. I mean, it's absurd to think how two people would climb this high, like. Anyway, we'll see some of it in depth later. Okay, so we have soap waiting for us to just start climbing the final section over here. It would be pretty interesting if we had the whole level just having us to climb this whole thing and then just ending on the top. Anyway, I digress. So, what I want to state first is that in this first area we can see that the terrain has a repetitive texture, which is because we are too close to it to notice that it repeats itself, like so. We're just way too close to notice it. So let's assume that we have climbed in this opening over here. We still can't see the texture repeating itself, so it's pretty nicely done, because we are never supposed to see this section from this perspective that I'm looking at it right now. That's why it looks this way. Unless, of course, you jump off the cliff. That would be absurd, wouldn't it? Like, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that if we go up here, of course I have disabled fog. Let's go R fog. Oh, sorry. I have draw 2D. It's to disable HUD, so we won't get bothered by stuff. I can just enable fog like that. Very good. There you can see with the fog stuff change, yet of course we can see this because it's really close. I'll keep fog off on this one, because it will help us look at things from a distance, because it's a huge level, it's an enormous level, trust me. So I will also remove effects, so it should be our effects, no, it's effects enable. There we go. Okay, if this is not an effect, then what is it? Anyway, so since we have effects and fog disable, we can just gradually go in distance and see how large this cliff actually is, which is really large. Like, we will gradually go downwards. I hope none of you has fear of heights, because this is even if it's a simulation, it can be quite scary to people with fear of heights sometimes. So yeah, this is our starting point. Let's just gradually go downwards to see how big it is. Let me just even CG12 90. Let's go with that. Okay, maybe it's too much. Let's go 80. There we go. Okay, that should be better. Going downwards, down below. I don't know why these don't go away. They're probably just animated texture or something instead of effects. I don't know. Oh, so yeah, you can see that the bottom is way down below. Way down below. It's huge. I didn't know it was that huge. Like, wow. Of course, I have speed cheats on, which allow me to go really far, really fast. Okay, yeah, we can see a glimpse of the other area over there. We'll get to that later. So, let's go to this part over here at the beginning and start exploring the actual map, since we explored the scary beginning. That's so huge. Nostalgia, however, it hits hard. So yeah, this is the starting area. We can see from another perspective that we can't normally see, and we can see it's a pretty interesting area. It's supposed to be filled with ice and snow and maybe some rocky surfaces. That's pretty interesting. Like, an interesting design. Like, how would this be like that? Anyway, this is the hillside that we go where we attack the actual base. We can see the base in a clearer view because we have disabled the fog, and we can see how well it is structured. I mean, in terms of clarity, like we can see where things are normally. Oh, this is our old friend from Team Player. No, from SSDD. I didn't believe it was the same thing. Of course, it has some snowy details. Anyway, so let's go from the start. We can see this. Is it a radar dome? I think it's a radar dome. I don't know. Yeah, judging from the towers, yeah, it should be a radar dome. Anyway. Oh boy, look at that. That's a huge mountain, man. That's insane. It's insane how big they made it, that hill. We can see this area, of course. You can't see away outside the map because there is fog in the normal playthrough. I mean, the fog intensifies as we close into the base, and you can see there's just nothing behind the fence. Just nothingness. Just a little bit of terrain to cover the empty area. And then the fog just covers everything you are not supposed to see, like these surfaces. Back here we have the area where we meet Soap again. Yeah, we have the inside of the building later. We'll see that later. Let me just slow down because I'm going too fast. It's pretty annoying sometimes. Okay, we have this area. Yeah, this is normal. We are not here to see the normal perspective. Okay, this is where the DSM is supposed to be. Is it DSM? The ACS. No, it's the ACS module. Yeah. So yeah, I never made this connection. Like, this is the room where you take the ACS module. Like, I never really thought of that. Like, yeah, it makes sense, but I just never thought of that. Okay, so these hangars now look pretty much like the hangars that we saw in the Team Player, in the SSDD. Yeah, they're the same mistake again. Level. So now I think I know why these were in the SSDD level. We saw some of these in a desert locale, and now I may have figured out why they were there, because maybe this hangar was reused and reskinned for the desert counterpart for the SSDD level, and they somehow forgot to remove these things. Anyway, oh, we can see a better view of this hangar where we see two guys working over here, and there's the intel, and we can just see it normally without the effects, the fog, and the invisible walls or visible walls blocking us from going inside. It's just a plane in an empty hangar. It's not much to see of it. Anyway, let's not waste more time on this. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but there's some really interesting snow decals around the helicopter, which this helicopter model, by the way, is using a Chernobyl skin, a skin used in Chernobyl levels of Call of Duty 4, for whatever reason. I mean, it matches perfectly the snow environment compared to the woodland and the desert one, so it makes sense to use that one. Okay, more snow details here, not much to see here. The actual base, the actual camp that we sneak through, I mean, this is the area where we come from, and we usually go in here and stab that guy, right? But I rarely even go that way, but if we go that way we can see some really interesting prop details, like so, and even without the fog and the effects and everything, we can see it way clearer than normally. We can see these models are from Call of Duty 4, but I don't remember them ever being used. I remember finding them in the mod tools. They may be in the game as well, in the main game as well, but I just never happened to find them anywhere. Anyway, that's an interesting trivia fact for you guys. Just an empty tent over here. I think there is a... No, they're all empty. They're all empty. They're pretty cool models though, those tents for snow level. Yeah, they're pretty cool models. So these are some sort of reformed container models or prefabs that are suited to work as some sort of I don't know. They're just containers smooshed together to create a small building. Although this reminds me a lot of a Modern Warfare 3 part, like in the Down the Rabbit Hole anyway. Okay, this is the radar. I don't even know if you can go here. You can probably go, it's just that you can't do anything. It's just an empty space. Yeah, it's just nothing. There's nothing. Okay, this is the airfield way, the airfield runway. Oh, we can go and see the fuel station. Yeah, that's an interesting part. The fuel station. Not much to see here either. It's just that you come here, plant the C4, and then just go back to the hangars. Oh, we didn't see that building from close. I mean, there's not much to do with. Even the terrain inside is messed up. They just didn't care about it, which is fine because you can't see it. Oh, that's the shadow. Okay. Okay, yes, this building where we can actually go inside. Pretty cool. This one, oh, this one's supposed to be the same as that one. That's pretty cool as well. Okay, nothing else we can see from here. Just a red flag. That's interesting. Okay, what else do we have here? We saw the hangar. What else is out there? The runway. Let's go to the runway once again. So, imagine that you're in a plane and you're about to take off, and you take off now. Careful now. You take off and then you see this huge way down below. It's enormous. Just look how small the base looks compared to the depths of the cliff. It's huge, man. It's scary, isn't it? And now let's go to a more fun part. Okay, so this is the exit. Oh, by the way, this part, just nothing behind it. Just a tunnel leading inside the mountain, presumably, but actually leading nowhere because it's a game. You can't design something you will never see. You shouldn't, actually. You can design it, but it will take memory that you won't need. So yeah, you'll slow down the game for no reason. Anyway, also this building where enemies shoot us from, it has no floor. I mean, the floor is invisible because they didn't texture it. However, the NPCs can walk on it just normally. I believe this is where the first snowmobiles spawn and they come to attack us. Those two containers again. Okay, this is the far end of the runway. You can see how large it is. Like, why is it even extended like that? I'm not sure. I'm not an airplane special anyway. Also, there is a plane missing over here. I know there was a plane over here. Maybe it spawns after we, I don't know, finish with the previous parts. Okay, now off to the snowmobile area. Not much to see apart from the separation, the small cliff that separates it. Oh, of course, this is interesting. You can see that there is a small slope slowly merging with the actual slope of the snowmobiles. That's interesting. It's a really nice map design. Like, you can see how everything binds together. This is proper map design. When all of your terrain is binded together in a very geometrically smooth way, then that means that your map is well designed. Okay, so assuming we take the snowmobiles, moving down here, not much to see other from the normal forest we slide from. Pretty smooth, pretty cool. Oh yeah, there's a sound playing. Yeah, there's a sound playing next to the trees when you pass next to them. Yeah, this shadow thing bugs me a little bit. Anyway. Oh yeah, the rays, the sun rays or whatever. The intel location. Okay, pretty cool. And this is the okay, I'm trying to see if there's anything else around before we move in. Okay, this is the small camp that we just happened to run through. And this is the open frozen lake area, which, yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's just see a big open view of it before we move on. I should take good care of these videos, just try to show you everything I can. Okay, so this is the the final part. Finally we reached the final part where we will see greatness. Another huge cliff coming in. Now this is the normal view of the final cliff slope or whatever we can go. Let's just assume that we run through it normally, like that, with the snowmobile. You know, the suspense rising up until we've hit the final part, you know, the jump, and boom, that's how it is. Now there's a lot to see. I'll turn around in a moment. This is the ending part where the helicopter comes in and takes us away. Now I'll turn around and show you how big the slope is, like in the normal view, and you can see that the texture repeats itself in a place that you can't normally see. And now I'll show you how the other side looks. Like that. This is like just I'll let you guys enjoy this, the view of this. This is crazy. Like, this is crazy, isn't it? How big is this? Like, we go over here, we're ready to jump down, just go down the slope, jump, and then you have this whole big cliff, this huge cliff behind, around the camera actually, that you can't move the camera or strafe and jump out of the cliff to see this. It's not Battlefield, it's everything on a railway. You can't do much about it. Even if when you are here, you can't just turn the camera and see this. You're just going in the helicopter and the screen cuts to black. Of course, there's nothing around the hill, there's nothing around these mountains. The immersion, all of the immersion is broken right now. But it's pretty cool. I really like exploring these things, just to see how far they went with designing this. Of course, this gap over here that we're supposed to jump from, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. When you see it that way, it feels like this was designed specifically for the needs of the mission, which is exactly why it was designed. But yeah, it kind of breaks the immersion for some people, but for me personally, I enjoy exploring this way. It doesn't break the game for me, personally. I hope the same applies to you guys. So yeah, this is a pretty huge cliff. If you see the lake area, how huge, how big we consider it to be. Just around the corner, you have this thing. And look how small the lake area looks. Just how immense this is. And now we can just bind everything together with the base and the initial climbing part, which is here. You can just go away and see how everything binds together. This is just amazing to explore, just beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I do, because this is a very, very fun thing to explore. Like, you can explore the edges of the maps you love through the years, if you ever played this game, of course. I assume everyone who watches this has played this already, but we talk about this. Also, an interesting fact, you can see this part of terrain over here, which is over there, okay? And we have this area over here. We should be able to see this, right? Yet we don't. It's like over there, you feel like it's hidden in plain sight. That's so interesting. So interesting. And it successfully hides everything, of course. You can barely see this. Like, they even put those snowy like detail or whatever it is over there to, just in case player happens to look at it in a normal playthrough, of course, without cheats, it wouldn't be just the texture repeating itself. It would just have something non-repetitive anyway. But yeah, this is pretty fun. This is pretty fun. Pretty fun. I really enjoyed showing you guys this map in Noclip. It's one of my favorite levels in this game. I really had fun exploring it once again, because I've seen these things before. I'm just here to show them to you guys, and hope you guys enjoy it. I will, of course, teach you guys how to use Noclip in the description I will explain everything you need to know. It's not that big of a deal. In Modern Warfare 2 it's quite easy to use Noclip. Although yeah, using the console is a little bit harder. It will need you to do some additional hacking things. Anyway. So yeah, that's all there is. That's all we can find. You can see how everything binds together. The climbing part, the base part, the snowmobiles, the lake, and then the huge cliff at the end, which is practically the whole level. Just twice as big as the, like, just as big as the rest of the level, that's what I mean. We can even go outside the skybox and see how big this thing is, like, enormous. I won't go far out of the skybox, don't worry. This is so cool. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next time. Bye bye.